Hey guys, welcome back. April 2nd. It's later on in the evening now. It's a little after 6, almost 6:30. We did start it. Thanks, Rich, for the help pumping the fuel over, get it started. It did dribble a bit, so we're going to address that tomorrow. I'll pop the top of the carb off and remove the diaphragm and get in there and see if, we'll look at the needle with a magnifier and see if the tip of the needle's got a dent in it or something, because it's rubber, well, maybe we'll just rotate it and stick it back in and see if that doesn't stop it from dribbling. We really don't have time to get a new needle here, so I have the needle that came with the carb, which was a dribbler, and then we got the two other carburetors that have needles in them. Are they any good? We don't know. We'll try to do the best we can with what we got to play with here. We had a little issue where we were seeing, you see we got the fuel lines off, we were seeing air bubbles out of the pickup line, right? Air bubbles going back in on the return line, we don't care. But coming up out of the fuel tank, sucking it up out of that line should be solid liquid. There shouldn't be any bubbles in it. I mean, you might get an air bubble in a high spot or a low spot, and it's just, the fuel's flowing, it's just a bubble. But this was a stream of tiny little bubbles. Then when we shut the motor off, it was just pissing up out of here. The engine shut off, and you could just see just air just running like crazy. So what happened was I took this fitting off and pulled out the pickup tube. And the tubing we used on the inside is that it's clear. We got it from CKS, or it's like Burrell tubing or something. It's made for fuel. I think it's Tygon fuel line. It's real soft. What happened was, this fuel is pretty toxic, this VP stuff. So it just, you could turn it, you could spin it. And I took it in the house for Rich to look at, and he literally, with the wire on it, pulled it right off the barb fitting with the wire on. So that's where we were getting our leak from. We took it all apart. We found a couple pieces of grunkus down in the tank. So we siphoned those out, cleaned the tank up as best we could, cleaned up the line, cleaned up the fittings, put it all back together, and really made sure we pulled and tightened that safety wire down, double wired the one on the top, because the one was on the top was the one that was leaking. The one in the brass fitting on the bottom, it's going to be buried in fuel till it gets right down to almost nothing left anyway. It was the fuel fitting that was the fuel line fitting up underneath the top side of the tank that was leaking, was sucking air. If that's submerged in fuel, it doesn't matter. It's going to be sucking fuel all the time. So we got it fixed up. Obviously, I epoxy these in just so they don't leak, because they are barb fittings, right? And you can't use Teflon tape with this fuel. So I like to just use epoxy, JB Weld, whatever. I just got done putting all that back together. So we'll let that set up, and we'll come over tomorrow and pop the top of the carb off, see if there isn't a piece of debris or something in there. Probably be a good idea, I guess, to change the inline fuel filter. New tank and stuff, you're going to get some grit and some threading, tapping debris and stuff in there from drilling the holes and tapping and stuff. So maybe we'll just throw a new one of those on, make sure the carburetor is clear of any debris. There is a screen in there, a little tiny screen that would probably get completely covered. I mean, it's really tiny, before any kind of grunkus could get underneath the needle. But we'll go ahead and we'll take a look. While we're here, we'll take a look. We want to get this thing all buttoned up tomorrow. We're going to bring the trailer over and park it in Rich's driveway, and we want to get this thing buttoned up and get it loaded up. Well, really all we got to do with the four banger is air up the tires. As you can see, the front tires are a little low. That one there's I think flat, so, or almost flat. And then we'll get it loaded up in there too, and then it's just a matter of a couple days during the week, taking out the things that we really don't need, putting in the things that we do, and just getting ready to go and watching the weather. Right now the weather doesn't look all that great, but we've got a week, so we'll see. That's it. The dribbler was dribbling. The fuel line was sucking. We're trying to fix it. I'll get it all fixed up. because we want to give this carburetor an honest to goodness test and run. And if it doesn't get past, you know, the test this time, it's coming off. And we've already got the alternative lined up with a big 40 millimeter Tillotson, brand new from Ireland, from the factory. They're going to actually modify a stock standard 15A Tillotson. It's a HM, whatever the 175 super shifter carburetor is. That's a 15A. It's got a much smaller bore. They said they could bore it out and fix it up for us. So, and get us back to what we want to do. So I'm excited either way. We would really like this one to work because we've got 2 more of them. We could throw it right on the 250. We got no money wrapped up in these, right? So, but if we gotta, you know, we gotta go the other way, we gotta go the other way. That's racing, right? So that's it for the second. Godspeed, God bless. We're praying for you. Pray for us. We need it too. It'll get better. I know. Old Brandon, he's trying, but he can't take away the old American spirit, can he? Hang in there, folks. She'll get better.